You are watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftacademy.com. www.netsoftacademy.com.
Welcome back to the next lab. Now in this lab, we'll be installing Exchange Server on Nita EXCH01. So first I'll log in. Remember, always log in as the enterprise admin. You need this privilege to actually be able to do anything. All right, so once you're logged in here, I right click on the virtual machine, click on the settings, and under the settings, I select the CD/DVD SATA, and instead of 365 hybrid deployment, Microsoft 365 hybrid deployments, I select Microsoft Exchange Server 2019 CU14. CU14 stands for Cumulative Update 14. Cumulative Update is a sequence in which, let us say, how do I put it? So a bug is an error. A patch is a fix for that bug. A cumulative update is a collection of multiple patches put together to fix multiple bugs. That is the difference here. All right, so that is how you remember it. Okay, so I mounted the ISO file here. I'll wait for autoplay to start. If it comes in on autoplay, that's perfect, because I can just then run the setup directly from here. Now, remember one thing, that this is a slightly longer process. So don't check for updates right now. That is what we're going to select next. We'll wait for the files to be copied. This usually takes around 30 seconds, 40 seconds tops. We want to make sure that we did everything right. So we did all the prerequisites correctly. We are logged in with the right account, and we don't see any errors. Any errors will show up right before installing the role, right before it lets you install the role. So until you can see, this process is taking a longer time here. It's not like your regular setups where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It takes long. So you will not even be able to figure out what exactly you did wrong until you get to the very end. If you miss something, it is going to be a huge pain in your neck to come back and fix it. Remember that. Next. So I'm not changing anything here. I'm going with the recommended settings. Next. Same here, recommended settings. Next. Under this, I'm going to be selecting mailbox role. Just this one, just the mailbox role. Okay. Next. That we have enough disk space and everything. Next. I'm going to say yes for disable malware scanning because it needs internet access and we are running a completely offline Exchange environment. Yes. Next. Now this will configure the prerequisite. So while configuring prerequisite, it is just going to verify if all the prerequisites are properly set up. The setup can also configure the prerequisites, but it will just take longer. So that is why we do the steps manually first, rather than relying on the setup tool. And also the setup tool is a little bit finicky in terms of setting up your prerequisites. So you should see a 1 or maybe 2 warnings at the very most. And you can click on install. Now the installation is a 13-step process. This will take some time. So we'll wait for the installation to complete, and once the installation is complete, then we'll look at the next steps. So after waiting for a little time, we can see that the Exchange server setup has finished. Now this took around 35 minutes for me to complete, 35 to 40 minutes for me to complete. Now once that is done, the first thing that I do personally is I go to start. I click on, you can see it's already here under the recommended, but I click on all under the apps. Scroll down until I see Microsoft Exchange Server 2019 and click on Exchange Management Shell. Exchange Management Shell is a PowerShell based CLI management tool for Exchange servers. Now, once we start that, it will connect our Exchange server. It will say connecting and then it will say connected. And this is a very crucial process because if this process works, we will be able to make sure that our email flow and everything can work easily. We don't have to worry too much about it. So you can see this here, connecting to Nita exch01.nita.local. We want to see a background commandlet working in that tells us, okay, hey, everything is working, and it should say connected. So I'll wait for it to say that. And once it says connected, then we'll look at the next steps. Now, after a few minutes, you can see that this has completed. Clear. Yep. Now I'm going to type in the command get dash mailbox server. This is just to verify that the mailbox server is actually registered properly. So get dash mailbox server. This should return us with the value EXCH01. Yes, good availability. Yes, correct. All right. The next thing that we would like to do is go to the server manager, click on tools, and then go to services under tools. Services. And under services, we want to find Exchange, Microsoft Exchange topology. So let's scroll down. We'll see it under Microsoft Exchange. Microsoft Exchange mailbox, Microsoft Exchange throttling transport, mailbox transport, mailbox sync, Active Directory topologies. Yep, right here. So when I open this, provides Active Directory topology information to Exchange services. If the services stop, most Exchange services are unable to start. We want to ensure that this is running. Perfect, this is running. That's a good sign. The next thing that we would do is we would quickly navigate to File Explorer, this PC, local disk C, program files, and honestly, if not in program files, then in the other program files, the x86 one. But I would like to find the Exchange, Microsoft Exchange server option somewhere. Yep, Microsoft Exchange server, V15 right here. And we should see the folder for client access, mailbox, transport, and a few other things here. That's the thing. So transport, these three things should be here at least. So now since these are here, that indicates everything is working well. Now, so I'm going to open my Chrome. Now, yes, just for the benefit of everyone, I did not pin my Chrome on the desktop because I did not want it there. But you can access Chrome. Now, on Chrome, I'm going to open a new incognito window. And I'm going to type in this one here. So it will be https:// encot the other slash, my bad, https:// encot exch01 dot, oh, not encot, my bad, I forgot the name of the virtual machine. Neta exch01 dot neta dot local slash OWA slash. OWA stands for Outlook Web App or Outlook Web Access. Both of those are right. You can also call it OOW. It's called Outlook on the Web. So this is how it looks like. Remember I mentioned that we needed certain web components to work when we are installing the prerequisites. These are the web components. So I'm going to log in as Neta / administrator and the password 1350. I sign in. It will ask me to select my time zone. That is a very common theme here, that it will ask me to select my time zone. I will select my time zone the same as what my device time zone is. That is Eastern Time, GMT -5. Now, remember, this is all working offline. There is no internet connectivity component here. So all of this is being hosted internally. So GMT UTC -5. So it should be right around here, Eastern Time. Save. And this opens up our Outlook on the web application. This is the Outlook web app. This is the Outlook web app. It's my mailbox here. Now, this was one. Okay. Now, the other thing, now we want to manage the Outlook, right? We want to manage who gets access to Outlook. Just because there is an Exchange server doesn't mean that every user gets the access. We have to select the users who get the access. Now, for that management, we need to go to https://neta exch01.neta.local/ECP. ECP/. ECP stands for Exchange Control Panel. ECP stands for Exchange Control Panel. Now, once I go to ECP, I'll be automatically logged in anyway. Oh, there is a typo in my this thing. There is nothing to worry about. It's a typo. It's neta.local. I put in netal.local. There was one extra L. So this will load up. This will take a second though. Remember, it will take a little bit of time. It isn't this quick because we are not relying on the internet. But once it loads up, you can see it right here. This is because I'm already signed in. I was able to sign in here as well on the same web portal, and this is all running on the browser. This is all running on the browser. Now, once we are here, let's take a look at the next steps that we need to do. Now, there isn't a lot to do after this right here in this lab right now, but we would like to do one thing. So I'll go back to my OWA tab here. I'll click on new, and I'll send an email to the administrator. Now you'll see that I just typed AD and then pressed search directory. It automatically pulled up administrator. This is how the entire thing with connectivity with Active Directory works. So I'm just going to say test email, and this is a test email to verify mail flow and installation status, and I click on send. Now you can see that the email is here in my drafts right now. It is in my draft. It will take a second for the email to leave, and it will show up in my own inbox here because I'm emailing my own self. The administrator is emailing the administrator himself or herself. So that is a different story. Now if I refresh this, the email would be here in a bit. It will take some time because it is going to go to the act. It's going to go a whole round trip and come back. So we'll wait for the email to show up, but the email leaving and being in my sent items in and itself means that the mail flow is working as planned, and you can see the test email is already here. So the mail flow is working as planned. Now, going back to the Exchange Management Shell here. So I'm going to type a few commands. So the first command is going to be get command, get dash command. Now this will give me a host of different commands that I can use for get. And that is basically for all the PowerShell commandlets that I can use. So I'm going to stop this here, clear this, get dash exo commands. Oh, I think ex command, get dash ex commands. And you can see again, same things again. Now, there are a few other commands that we should know about, honestly. So let's run those commands and see what exactly happens there. The next command that we're going to run is get dash exchange server and then FL. So this will give us all the details about the exchange server. Now you can alternatively, you can add more details here. So for example, I can pull up the same command and then I can say name, edition, admin, display, version, and enter. And you can see I can select what I want to see. And that is the end of this lab here. So in this lab, we just installed Exchange Server, verified that the mail flow is working, saw the Exchange control panel, and ensured that all settings are working. And that was our goal for this lab. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next lab.
Thank you for watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftakademy.com. www.netsoftakademy.com.